We have probably seen more people come to the Lord through CBN than any other organization in the world. But it wasn't me, it was God.
We remember the word that the Lord gave, and we stand here with a mandate from the Lord Jesus Christ. Go forward to reach out to cover not only the United States of America, but from this place, portions of our world.
Just the tiny little beginnings of what we see today. Over these 50 years, it's the faithfulness of God. I founded or was granted the charter for the Christian Broadcasting Network. I had a couple of contributions that added up to $35, which is the fee it took to get that past the Corporation Commission. So when I sent in the application, that's all the money I had was $35. And you look back over 50 years and you think, look at what God has done. It has just been beyond belief. He's a great God.
With incorporation papers in hand, Pat started the Christian Broadcasting Network with an additional $3 donation. Believing in his heart he was to use television to tell people about Christ, Pat's morning prayer time became the cornerstone of CBN, just as it is today, 50 years later.
That's one of my most vivid memories of my father, is every morning sitting in his wingback chair with his Bible open, sometimes on his knees, with his head bowed in prayer.
I've got to talk about my wife, Dee Dee, because when I have something that really is important, I say, now, honey, let's you and me pray.
You just know, without a doubt, that the Lord is with you and that He hears you.
We seem to get God's guidance together, but I like that. And she has a good Midwestern common sense view of life, and when I run something by her, she's usually pretty much right on in terms of what needs to be done or what shouldn't be done. So it's nice to have a wife you can pray with and work together with.
It just makes them so unique. I mean, Dad just grabbed a hold and said, okay, yes, Lord, I'm ready to do what you asked me. And you hear some of the things that he said.
Start a satellite cable network, start a university, start a humanitarian organization, start international broadcast. Don't just have it here in America, but have it be for the world. Have a vision for the gospel going out into all the world. Those things God revealed to Dad, and all he did was say, okay.
Pat and Dee Dee Robertson see the 50-year anniversary of CBN's incorporation as a landmark to God's faithfulness. They have championed the mission of CBN to take the gospel of Christ to the world.
It's just God. So He gets the glory, but it's amazing. It is simply amazing how many millions of people have come to Jesus.
I think what's mostly significant is the faithfulness of the Lord.
The idea that every single day people can come in contact with a God who wants to break in from the supernatural to the natural every day. That's what's to me, is so unique about the 700 Club and the ministry of CBN.
Each member of the Robertson family has humorous and humbling memories of CBN's beginnings. In the early days, they all played a part in the ministry, no matter how small.
Well, I used to answer phones on telethon. That was kind of interesting when you're 9 years old.
For me, that was kind of exciting, and we got to go to Daddy's work.
Man, I'll tell you, that studio would absolutely rock. They'd bring these choirs in there, and the place would hop. It was really something. It was really fun.
I had a show, it was about missionaries on the mission field.
I've had times that I ran camera.
I didn't have a writer. I didn't have a producer. I didn't have a director.
Kind of interesting being in the studio where Dad's running camera, Mom's on camera, and there's nobody directing because we couldn't afford a director, and so it's just going straight through a switcher to air, and that was the television show that day.
Well, you know, when you got a visionary.
It was great fun in those days.
There were family times, too.
I loved my children, and I think I was approachable and played with them and prayed with them. But you know, I took seriously the 54th chapter of Isaiah, which said, your children shall be taught of the Lord. And I really gave them over to the Lord.
You know, I do remember Dad always engaging with us. He might have had the longest day, might have had so many cares on his shoulders, but when he came home, he would run outside, play hide and seek with us, laugh with us. He engages at the moment.
Mom is the glue that holds the Robertson family together.
She's like a lioness with her cubs. You know, she's a defender of each one of us.
My wife was a good mother, and she was out with the kids. And we had picnics, and we did travel.
And that's what Dad has needed beside him all these years, is a steadfast partner who continually read the Bible, studied the Bible, and then and she's not too concerned about herself. She's selfless. I always saw that growing up. She would always make sure we had before she had.
Without a doubt, the greatest gift my dad gave all of us children was this understanding that if you really want to know what to do with your life and where to go, no matter what the circumstance was, go to God and let the Holy Spirit reveal it to you.
So they're a beautiful, beautiful couple together. God definitely knew when he put them together.
Their passionate love for Christ is the hallmark of the Robertson family and the heartbeat of CBN's first 50 years.
Never left my first love. That was it.
And it's probably why it burns so much in my heart. I want others to have that, and that faith and that knowledge that he's got us in his hands, and he cares and loves us so, so very much.
Everything pales in comparison to seeing people come to Jesus. That's the number one goal, and that's what we're all about.
And it is hard to believe that in 50 years, all the things that God has done through CBN. And not only do you look back and give him thanks and praise, you also look forward to what he still has in store for you. And I see that year of Jubilee as God opening doors throughout the world for CBN.
Everyone deserves the gospel, that everyone has the right to have the opportunity to hear and believe that all sins can be forgiven.
And you know, that verse that comes to mind is, thus far the Lord has helped us. You know, it looks back, but then it looks forward to what's ahead. And I just think the best is still yet to come.